there's one thing that I would like everyone to know about pain that changes everything, is that pain is optional. You're like, what? No way. If pain were optional, why would I choose to have pain? The thing is, nobody really chooses to have pain. It's just kind of a thing we've gotten used to doing to ourselves unconsciously. And we wouldn't ever want to get rid of pain as a sensation, because pain is super helpful. Pain is what keeps us alive. There are people who are born without the ability to feel pain, and they rarely survive childhood because it's very dangerous not to have pain. Pain tells you to move away from something that's too hot. Take your hand off the stove. Take your foot off the nail. Pain is super useful. And if you break a leg, pain tells you, oh, that it hurts. I need to get it fixed. I shouldn't just keep trying to walk on it. So we don't want to ever get rid of pain as a sensation, but know that pain is optional. And how can I say that? Because pain is not created at the nerve endings. Pain is created in the brain. And because we can think, we have some control over our brain. Let me just give you an example. If you have to do something nerve-wracking, like give a presentation in front of a lot of people, or, I don't know, take a big exam, have an interview, have a conversation you don't want to have, what happens? You start to get nervous. And your brain does something and creates this feeling in your stomach, this horrible sensation. And that just got created by your brain, just like that. It can make you sick. It can make you have cramps. It can make you have diarrhea. It can make a lot of things just from just thinking about it. And that's a conscious thing. Usually pain is an unconscious thing. Our brain, there's a butterfly just went by. Our brain uses all of our senses, the sensors in our skin, for one, but also what we see with our eyes, what we hear with our ears, what we know in our mind. It takes all those things to make pain. And most people don't have a conscious control over this unless you practice for a long time, some kind of meditation guru. But when you know that the brain is making the pain, that's the thing that changes everything. Because you can think about the pain and just say, do I need this or do I not need it? It's really that simple. There's a lot more to it to maybe make the pain go away, but in the simple example that I've used before, on this very property where my mom and dad live, we had a big burn pile, and we'd burned a bunch of scrub brush, and it had burned down, and I saw one stick that had escaped the fire. I was going to throw it in, and I reached in and grabbed it with my hand, and it was red hot, and I burned myself really bad. And I threw the stick in the fire. My hand was all blistered. It was hurting so bad, and I decided, hey, let me put this theory to the test. Do I need this pain? I did need it to let go of that stick quickly, and that worked. But now the stick's gone. I'm not holding the stick anymore. And I learned not to grab hot sticks from a fire. So do I need the pain? And I just said to myself, to this part that was giving me the pain, hey, thank you for giving me that pain. I really appreciate it because I did something dumb, but now I've learned my lesson. And I will not do it again, so I don't really need the pain, so could you just please let the pain go? And it went away. Crazy as that sounds. It still felt weird, but it didn't hurt. And I've told that to a bunch of people, and a lot of people can now do that easily. My brother does it. He's a burn boss. He burns properties for a living. And is a scientist as well. So he runs into burns, and he's done it several times. My wife has done it. Anybody can learn that. And it's so simple with burns because we know exactly what happened and we know we don't need the pain anymore. So it's so much harder for other things, like if your back hurts, you don't know what's causing it. So you get worried about it. Shoot, why is my back hurting? So you go to the doctor. And doctors, you know, they like to fix things. So they're going to look, just find out what's wrong with it. They're going to look at your back and they're going to find something wrong with it because, FYI, everybody's back is screwed up. Nobody has a straight, perfect back where all the vertebrae are lined up. Nobody. Everybody's back is messed up. So if they look for pain, they look for something that's causing the pain, they will find it. And then they're going to give you suggestions for how you can fix it. You know, they're just doing their best. Surgery, trigger point injections, massage, whatever they think will help it. And it may help, it may not, because that's not really probably what's giving you the pain. Maybe it was to start with, but after something's been healing for 3 months, it's not going to get any better. And anyway, you don't need pain the whole time it's healing. You just need to find out what's wrong and fix it. Like if you break your arm, it hurts really badly until you go to the doctor, and then they put the cast on it, and then it usually stops hurting because you know it doesn't need to hurt anymore. The hurt has stopped helping you. Now with arthritis and back pain, it's tricky because you don't know if you're doing any more damage or not. Now with arthritis, you're not doing any damage. Any doctor will tell you that if you have arthritis in your hands or wherever, your shoulder, the best thing for it is to keep moving it. So is that pain doing you any good? I would say no. And once you realize the pain's not doing you any good, you can use that. You can say to yourself, hey, pain, you're not doing me good now. I know I've got arthritis. I don't need that anymore. And you may scoff, but that pain can go away. I know people, at least 2, in their 90s with no pain whatsoever. And I guarantee they have arthritis and their backs are not straight, but they don't have pain. Why? They just decided they didn't need it. Something in them never thought they needed that pain. Now, they probably have other problems. When they have emotional difficulties, that pain gets expressed in some other way, maybe by anxiety, maybe by upset stomach, something else. But the pain, the physical pain in the back or the hands is just not necessary. So if you're wondering, well, what do I do now? Well, just knowing is the main thing. Once you know that pain is optional, you can think about it completely differently. It's just not something you're a slave to. You wake up, your knee hurts, your legs hurt, whatever. Think about it. Is this pain doing me any good or not? You know, I know old people with no pain, but I know old people with lots of pain, tons of pain. And they just feel like, well, I've got to take painkiller. And I can have this conversation with them, and it's all up to whether they believe me or not. Because most people don't think pain is optional. They think pain is the product of damage. And it just isn't. And you can think, oh, well, what does this guy know? He's not a doctor. Well, I read enough papers about it. Pain and injury have almost nothing to do with each other once the pain's gone on a while. If the thing is new, if you've never had knee problems and one day you wake up with your knees hurting, then yeah, I'd go to the doctor. I'd figure out what it is because it's something new. But if you've had it for a long time, if you just had knee problems your whole life, no, you don't need that anymore. That's not doing you any good. Go to your doctor and ask them, will moving this hurt me anymore? If they say no, you do not need that pain. So this is just the beginning of your exercise with pain. I just want you to know that. You don't have to have it. Okay? You can listen to me now and believe me later. That's fine. But you do not have to have that pain.